What up, guys? It's the Total Wars Master here doing another Napoleon Total War video. Today it's with Great Britain. I had a request from someone of how to play them in custom battles. So I'm going to go over a lot of their advantages and then probably show you a bit more about how to play them. So for your lights, Great Britain has some pretty good lights. There is the King's German Legion Lightfoot as well as a regular Lightfoot. The King's German Legion has a slightly better reloading stat, which can help them win in a direct engagement. However, their melee attack stat is also worse, along with charge. So you're really doing that trade-off. You get a little bit. I prefer the King's German Legion Lightfoot. I prefer to stay at a distance of shooting. But yeah, and then we have the foot. They have a better shooting and melee defense stat than the Highlanders. They are also cheaper than the Highlanders. They do have slightly worse morale. I prefer the foot. I think you're getting a better bang for your buck unless you're on some map where you need a little bit of more melee attack and charging. King's German Legion foot, it's just a better than regular line infantry. You get that morale, which helps. They're a good unit. Rifles, I do not like rifles in this game. I find them to be overall not very good. Great Britain has some above average rifles. Them and Silesian Schützen from Prussia, as well as the Portuguese rifles. They're pretty good in terms of rifles. I mean, Jaegers I would never use because they are not very good, but they are there. They are an option. Now for the 88th foot, the DLC Connaught Rangers, very good unit. I mean, their accuracy and reloading stat is very on par with even some elites compared to like the Walden Guards. 88th foot is very good. I mean, even compared to Black Watch, I mean, they're still losing on reloading, but they're higher on accuracy. Then to the Black Watch, never use them. They're absurdly expensive. You really should not be trying to use them. Although the British Foot Guards and Coldstream Guards, they are very good. The Coldstream Guards are slightly better. They have that slightly better reloading stat for a very small bit increase in price. So I would definitely use them. British Militia, being Fencibles, is also very good. Their shooting stat is well above average for Militia. I would make good use of them. We come to two weak parts. Well, kind of weak parts. First, let's go over the artillery for Great Britain. They have no 12-pounder, which is a big problem because it means unless you're using rockets, which I have a video on of how they suck, you are going to be outranged by your opponent. If you're coming up against a grand battery, an artillery rapide, getting your 9-pounder into range, especially on a map like Grassy Flatlands, Italian Flatlands, you will have problems. You are, what, 80 less range? 80 less range, which can pose an issue because if your guns are killed before they can get into position, that is bad. Even just against Prussia or Austria or Russia, while they don't have good 12-pounders, one lucky shot wiping out a couple guns can be devastating. Although when you are within range, you do have pretty good accuracy and reloading stats compared to a lot of other nations, mainly other than France. So I would make use of that, but I'd be hesitant using it in artillery duels if you're going to have to fight to get into a distance to use it. Now to cavalry. 10th Hussars, they can fire while mounted. They have rifles, so they have 125 range. However, their accuracy in reloading is both awful. It is horrendous. I would not use them. I find them more of a goofy thing and something that's actually useful. For Great Britain, you lack Lancers, so really you have to make a decision between Heavy Cav and Light Cav, like the 15th Hussars, King's German Legion, Light Dragoons. I would stay away from the real expensive Heavy Cav, like Horse Guards. I find they get killed way too easily. Lancers, they're a good Lancer target, because even if I lose a Lancer to kill your Horse Guards, you lost 400 extra costs than I did, especially against something like Cossacks, which can really just wipe them out. So I remain hesitant about that. But let's try and get into creating an actual army now. So now we're back here, guys. I have what I consider a fairly stereotypical British army. I have my army arranged so I have a strong right flank. My left flank is comprised of 4 line, for example. I have a heavy cav in support. I prefer heavy cav with Great Britain. I know my light cav will lose most altercations anyways, so I really don't see a point, while heavy cav will at least give me an edge in combat against enemy infantry. But then I have my lights in my center, supported by some line. And my right flank, I have Foot Guards, Coldstream Guards, King German Legion Foot, and the 88th, as well as supported by 2 heavy cav being Dragoons and King's German Legion Dragoons. I'm a firm believer in a regular general, and this is what I consider a fairly regular army. You have your one flank, your center, your right flank. You can, of course, move like some of these troops to be in the center, some to be on the other flank. This one's definitely one where you try and roll with your right flank and try and reel back with your left. And I go into some of that with basic tactics. I have a video on that too. You can look into that if you have more questions on that. But this is mainly trying to play to the advantages of Great Britain. Maximizing your line, because that is really where you shine. And of course, things can depend on the map and the rules. Sometimes it may be worth it to bring a howitzer, or if you're defending particularly difficult ford crossings where you might want stakes or a singular rifle unit, you can of course do that, although I'd definitely be hesitant to bringing more than that. I mean, here we just have a decent formation. You know, you're going to try and roll this on your opponent. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. Remember, Great Britain, it has its uses. I wouldn't necessarily use it for 1v1s because you're at a bad cavalry disadvantage. But that's it, guys. Have fun playing this great nation. Total Wars Master, out.